Hello everyone, welcome to Palmist. Today I'm going to show you what an in-depth analysis looks like. All my videos that you've seen has been about general analysis. Today I'm going to show you what an in-depth analysis looks like. Before we do, please subscribe, and if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us, it's in the description box. Now I'm going to show you his palm lines, then I'm going to jump. What is an in-depth analysis? In-depth analysis is something that we look at your palm and then we calculate with palmistry your name, your date of birth, your place of birth, and things like that. We calculate these things and we present it in an in-depth analysis. And I will show you how it works. Now, look at this person's lifeline. When you see here, if you see this, do you see islands up to this point? Do you see this part here? Now, this is not a good sign. Up to the age of 8, 9, or even 10, this person has gone through some severe trauma. Either it's been physical abuse, mental abuse, some sort of problems this person has gone through in his life, in his very young days. From the time he got his thing up to the age of 9, 10, I would say, he's gone through some severe trauma. Okay, and then life starts getting a bit better. You see this? And then it comes down and it goes down here and it goes in. There is a small triangle here at this point, which means there might be chances of property in his life. There's also one here. So chances of multiple properties is there in this person's life. Also, if you see here, there's a lot of X marks here. Do you see this? There is a lot of X marks, which means there's also one here. There's multiple X marks, which means personal life is not going to be smooth in this person. Once he gets married, the married life is not going to be all rosy. It's going to be quite a lot of ups and downs in this person's life. Why? Because X mark in Venus Mount always indicates something related to your personal life, which is your married life. Once you get married and things like that, and also this marriage will not last in this person's life. It's going to be, it's going to break up, highly likely to break up because of a third party. Either another woman will get involved or something like that, and because of that the marriage is not going to be fruitful in this person's life. Now if you see here, this line, it branches out like this, which means chances of settling in a foreign country is very high. Okay, and by the way, this person is born in 1986. Okay, I want you to keep this in mind. He's born in 1986. I have his name and details and all that, which I would not like to share. I'm just telling you the year that he was born, so you get an idea. Okay, so 1986 is, so he's roughly at about 40 years old. Okay, now if you look at this person's fate line, it comes all the way from here, from the moon mount, which is a nice sign. It goes all the way, it comes up to this point. Do you see that? And there is another line from here, it attaches, it comes like this and it stops here. You see both of them stop here. Why? Because there is one line cutting across like this. You see this? And then what happens is, then it starts again from here, it goes up, again there is another cut here. You see this part? And after a certain point, there are multiple growth lines in this person's life. Multiple growth lines, which is a very positive sign. Now what does this mean? Now if you see, there is another line coming from the Mars mount here, and it's cutting across like this. Do you see this? Now what this means is this person needs to be very careful up to the age of 42, 43, which is right now he is 40. Correct? Now up to another 3 years from now, he's going to do extremely well in life. It'll be unstoppable. So unstoppable means the growth will be constant, and he's not going to have any major issues in his business. The growth is constant like this. But what happens is, the minute he touches 43, there is a big problem here. Now when this line cuts across your lifeline, your fate line, your mind line, and your fate line here, you see this, there are two fate lines, it's cutting both of them. Now this indicates that this person will have an external problem. Either he has to be very careful of staff, which might create problems for this person. And also when it goes, it's going towards the Mars mount. You see this? The line is almost till here. Okay, now this means this person needs to be very careful of staffing or some external problems, and because of that, he might get physically hit, physically attacked by people. Okay, now this can happen from his internal staff wise, or it can happen from external, but some external issues will be there. External means, when I say internal, I mean inside the house, your family, your relatives, and things like that. When I say external, I mean staffing, officials, things like that. So this person has a very high chances of getting attacked from outside, which means it could either be some official somewhere, he goes and says something, somebody hits him, beats him up, or the staffing, the disagreement, something like that will happen in this person's life. And this means this is not a good sign, because every, like I said, 12-year cycle period, 2 years of severe financial stress is going to be there. Severe financial stress, which means every 10 years savings will get wiped off in this 2 years. That's what I mean. So they have to be very, very careful when you have lines like this. Now the second line again, because of that external problem, both of this business is stopped here. It comes to a halt, like, immediate halt. It won't be after a few months, business is not doing well, then you decide to close. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a sudden stop. Everything was going well, or you were even breaking even, you were making a little bit profit and things like that, and suddenly it will come to a stop because of problems. So this is where the stop happens. Now when will this happen? This age will happen around at 47, 46, 47. Okay, so from 40 to 43 is good. 43 onwards, the problem starts. 43, there'll be a big problem with the external issues. Then up to 47 he's doing well, and again at 47 it's a complete stop. And after about 6 months to 8 months, this person is going to start something again, and he will grow. And around at 52 to 53, again there is another blockage here, which means things will get stopped again. So there'll be another sudden stop in this person's life. And after that, there is growth from multiple sources of income. Why I say multiple sources of income is because when you see the fate line, there's also a lot of foreign lines which are cutting like this. It's coming, you see this? It's all coming like this, which means there'll be foreign income also. So just say he has 4 businesses, maybe 1 or 2 businesses related to foreign income, which is a positive sign in this person's life here. Okay, so this is a very good sign. Also, if you see, he's got a very good business line here, and there's a money triangle, which is a positive sign, which means they will be, see guys, money will keep coming. But if you go start doing businesses which has external issues, which has constant problems with officials, like, sometimes it's health department, sometimes it's the cops, sometimes it's, you don't know where these problems come from. When you have constant problems, the money will come, but the money will also go, because you need to either bribe them, you need to pay off your staff, you need this constant nightmares. So no amount of money is worth that nightmare. People who are in this business will understand. I have many of my clients, I have hundreds of clients who are into this business. I see the nightmare on their face. It all looks rosy, beautiful outside, but internally when you sit in the office, when these officials come, when they talk to them and things like that, it's a complete nightmare in this person's life. So it's they have to be very, very careful. Okay, so this is what this indicates here. The mind line looks okay. The mind line comes down like this. Mind line looks okay. Also the heart line, if you see here. Now the problem with this person is, if you see here, there are multiple islands here. Correct? There are multiple islands, and there's one long one here. And then it continues again up to this point here. You see this? You see this islands here? When you have islands all the way through, from the time you were born all the way till the day, this age is already at about 80 plus. Okay. Now what this means is, you are not a person who keeps up to the word. Okay. Now when you promise something, when you close a business, for example, let's say you want to buy a business and you close a deal. Say for example, I'll pay, say, let me give a small amount so it makes sense, guys. It goes in hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. I don't want to confuse you, and I don't want to confuse myself. So let's say this guy says, okay, let's close the deal for $10. Okay. And when the time comes to meet and pay, this guy will say, oh, did I say 10? Let's close it at 8. Then he might say 7. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the kind of habit this person will have. And because of that, there will be a lot of irritation between colleagues, between staff, between things. And that's why this incident happens. Because you don't keep up to your word. You're not a person who keeps up to the word. You say something, you meet up, you close the deal, but no. You will come there and renegotiate the terms and conditions again. So this is the kind of habit this person will carry. And because of that, you will have serious, serious problems. You can see it here. You can see sudden stops, sudden stops, sudden stops. Issues like this will keep coming into your life because it's a bad habit. It's not a good habit that a person should carry with them. So this is what it shows here. So when you have something like this, be very honest. Be very clear. You want it, you close it. You don't want it, you don't buy it. But don't make the other person wait and things like that, because sometimes what happens is this creates a lot of rift. This creates a lot of animosity between people, so they will always wish that you fall, and it's an energy which they're creating, and that somewhere maybe it won't affect you, but when the wrong person does it and it affects you, it will come in a very bad way. So be careful of these things, okay? Also, there is a star here, which means there will be a lot of what do you call that, name and fame in this person's life. That's what it shows here. Unstoppable up to the age of 43. So this person from the age of 20, 22 will start a business and things like that, and he can become a very important person in the society. Like, people will know him, and because people know him, there will be business, things like that. And the line goes all the way up. So throughout there is a lot of name and fame and things like that, which this person can achieve. The only thing is you need to be very careful of habits. Habits, if you can change, you will do well. Marriage, like I said, is not a very good sign in this person's life here. Also now, how does it get in depth after this? Okay. Now in depth after this, according to his date of birth details and everything that we've seen, this person has a very auspicious years which will come into this person's life. Now, what time will it start in this person's life? Now, what is the auspicious year? See, when this time comes into your life, in this person's life, since he's born in 1986, it will last for 7 years. Okay, 7 years it will last. During this period of time, there'll be an immense surge of wealth. Okay, why? Because this period, his sun, Saturn and the sun mount gets activated. And during this period of time, if your fate line is good and it's positioned in the right time, then this person's surge will happen. Like, say everything is going smooth and suddenly there's a burst of 7 years of wealth. Everything will start clicking. Anything you do will turn into gold. Anything you touch, that is the kind of positive years these are going to be. And it will start in this person's life from 2029 to 2036. Okay, now 2039 to 2036. Now you have to see 2039 to 2036. Okay, now during this period of time, the fate line has to be aligned. Okay, if it's not aligned, if it's broken at this time, like say for example, if this period is coming here, then what happens is, then the effect here will not be much. Of 100%, the effect will become 10. And again, after that, it picks up till it completes the 2036, which is 7 years in this person's life. Okay, so there is auspicious time in this person's life, which he can take advantage of, which is a very positive sign. Now, health-wise, this person needs to be very careful of there are a lot of things, but I will tell you the major things that this person might face. According to his date of birth details and everything else, he needs to be very careful of blood circulation problems. Okay, blood circulation issues will be there throughout his hands and legs. He won't be able to sit for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Everything will go numb, hands, legs, because the circulation is not very good, and this can turn into chronic in the later stages of life. Second thing is partial paralysis is possible in this person's life. Okay, paralysis can happen maybe even after 10 years from now or even 8 years from now. Highly possible of partial paralysis, like a stroke or something can happen in this person's life. So they need to be very careful. Also, the backbone will have severe pain, especially the lower back. There'll be severe problems in this person's life, and if they don't take care, there are high chances of even slip disc and things like that can happen in this person's life. and incidents can happen, which means constant, they need to be very careful because fractures, bone, hands and legs fracture is very possible in this person's life. Okay, so they need to be very, very careful. Okay, so this is what, some of this is major, that's what I've highlighted it for you. Now, in terms of business, what kind of business this person should get into? For example, if somebody in their 20s want to see what kind of business should I do? Should I go into this? Should I go into that? And things like that. Here are some of the businesses this person can do. Okay, one is law-related business. Okay, law-related business. Either he can become a lawyer, start his own law firm, or anything related to law, making things about law and encouraging people to join law or talking about law, anything related to law. Okay, he will do extremely well. Anything related to writing, writing wise, he will do extremely well because he's got a very creative mind. So anything related to writing books, writing this, writing for things, he will do extremely well. Anything related to cosmetics, he will do fantastically well. Dealing with cosmetics, importing, exporting cosmetics, starting his own brand with cosmetics, those kind of business he will do very well. Anything related to exporting of seafood exports, this person is going to do extremely, extremely well. So these are just some of the businesses which I've highlighted. Okay. Now his lucky number is 1, which is the sun. Okay, this is born leader. This person will never give up, and he will always fight. He or she, according to the date of birth, we have to see, they will always fight for their leaders. They're born leaders because it's ruled by sun. So they'll always have a natural leadership qualities in this person's life. So they should always use this number 1 as many times as possible in the business name, in the house thing, in the property, in the car, phone, whatever, as many ones as possible. This is a very auspicious number for this person's life. Now the lucky direction for this person, okay, is southeast and north, which means it's very lucky for this person. Southeast and north, they should always face this direction. This is from the birthplace. For example, if he's born in Asia, okay, or if he's born in the west, then southeast direction is better for him. Okay, and north, anywhere north is very auspicious. If he goes towards west, is not lucky, and southwest is very, very unlucky for him. Nothing will work out. Whatever he does will turn into failure. Okay, if you can't move to another country, face these directions always. This is very, very lucky. Okay, and west and southwest is not a good sign. This will bring failures and losses. Also avoid northeast and northwest. This will bring different sets of problems like legal issues, theft, robbery, attacks, health issues, mental health, physical health. These kind of issues can come up in this person's life. So this direction should also be avoided completely. So the lucky direction for him is southeast and north from his place of birth, or face these directions. So this is what an in-depth analysis looks like, guys. Okay, so it gives you a complete detail about what we do, how we study your palm, how we study your date of birth details and everything else. So everything fits in for you. Okay, I hope this helps. Please subscribe, and if you want to get your palm analyzed, do WhatsApp us. It's in the description box. Take care, everybody. Stay safe. Bye-bye.